So what biblical principles can apply to other nonprofit leaders?
I think really the whole book, I think biblical principles work in every aspect of life, because they're founded in God's truth and God's reality, which transcends just the Christian space.
Yeah.
Even sometimes people might not be able to recognize them. Like there's a particular pastor who is friends with some of the guys on Shark Tank. And one of the guys, Damien, I think it is, and he was talking about something. This guy goes, man, that's like biblical. And so this guy was talking about how when you write your goals down, you're, whatever percentage more likely to fulfill them once you actually put them on paper. So this is what he teaches in his workshop. And this guy's like, man, that's from the Bible? He's like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, Habakkuk, write the vision, make it plain so that those who read it may run with it. And he was like, man, I had no idea. And so he went through his entire talk that he gives, and he showed him how all these things are based on biblical principles, and he didn't know it. And so even if you don't know it's a biblical principle, it'll work. Sowing and reaping works for people who know the Lord and don't. And so like, hey, if you have a dream in your heart that you want to see happen, and you don't have the funding for it, man, I give into somebody else who's doing it, and then it comes back to me. And so I think all those principles apply. But I think one of the key things for any business, nonprofit, whatever you're doing, is the chapters on adversity. And how every single person who set out to do something for God, or just any person who set out to do anything, period, they were always met with resistance, regardless of how noble, beneficial, altruistic your purpose may be. There's going to be somebody who has a problem with it. So if you think, all right, I'm going to go, rescue children out of human trafficking in another nation, they're like, well, there's people here that need to be rescued. What about the people here? And it's like, yeah, there's people are going to do all of it, but I feel like I'm supposed to go over here and do this. So no matter what you do, there's going to be critics. There's going to be people who come against you. There's going to be people who say, we don't need another one of those. There's already somebody else doing that. We don't need another church. We don't need another nonprofit. We don't need another coffee shop. There's always going to be somebody who's trying to talk you, out of something. And that's one of the ways that, I think sometimes you're on the right track is that adversity and hardship and knowing that you need to persevere. Every single, incredible story, there was always that adversity. There was that moment where it's like, man, we almost shut everything down. Thankfully, we didn't. We almost gave up. We almost quit. We almost threw in the towel. But, hey, we hung in there, and so it's knowing that it's not going to be just easy. Even if you believe in God and you feel like God has really spoken to you about something, it doesn't mean that, because God told you to do this, that it's not going to be without challenges, without, you had to do, like I said, you had to use your entire budget, on, all these, because of inflation of a price of a ticket, how everything shot up. That was something completely outside of your control, but yet it impacted you. You didn't go, well, it's just too expensive, and so we'll just go somewhere closer, go somewhere where we can drive. But you still persevered. You still, sacrificed and went.